Hey there guys, and welcome to yet another Krozzfyre cast. This one is super special for you guys. I have in store today the finals of the Japanese the CyAC Cup, which took place last night, I believe. The Japanese community, if you haven't seen them on Twitch, they've got quite a lot of viewers, quite a big following, so my Japanese sucks, konnichiwa, I guess. I hope that's not belittling you if you were watching this and wondering why there's not Japanese subtitles in the bottom. I suck, okay? So what we have Paradox facing up against, well, in the end, it was always going to be LINKINPARK, Mr. LINKINPARK over here. So it's a best of 3, and what happens is, after this, they'll swap factions and play as the other opposing faction, and then the maps would be picked then as well for the following round. And then if it needs to go to a best of 3, if it's one apiece, we'll go to a third game. I'll try and stream all 3 of these for you guys right now. So I'm going to try and keep it a little bit balanced. I probably will tend to favour one player over the other. It's not my intention to, but I hope to capture as much of the action as possible. So Paradox starting off then as the Russians. He's got the guard motor coordination tactics. He's got the call-ins as well as the 120mm mortar. He has hit the dirt, and he's also got the shock rifle frontline tactics, giving him the KV8 and the IS-2 if he needs it. So a very heavy anti-infantry there for him if he requires it. He's gone for a standard conscript opening. I'm just going to switch over to LINKINPARK real quick and see what he's doing over here. Okay, so he's getting his Grens out first. He might follow that up with an MG, I guess. And his commanders then of choice are the Jaeger infantry, giving him that awesome Jaeger light, the G43 rifles, which are great. Also the tactical movement, which enhances all the speed of all your troops. And he's got quite a few off-map call-ins there as well, if he so requires. The joint operations doctrines, we've got the PaK-43 emplacement, the artillery field officer, as well as plenty of artillery. And finally then, the bane of every Soviet player's existence, the assault support doctrine with that strafing run, cargo truck and the Tiger. So with our first engagement now over this bottom munitions point, and luckily enough for Paradox, he's able to take the green cover immediately, which means he doesn't want to fight this whatsoever. He's not able to close the distance without taking too many shots in the face and in red cover at that, so he's going to limp away and cap up this previous point back here. So it's nice to note that he's taking this slightly forward point first, knowing that if he didn't win the engagement he can back out, because his pioneers ultimately will not win against the combat engineers then of Paradox. His first Grenadier squad is going to come out and secure this middle VP. I imagine then he's going to garrison something in one of these buildings, because that extra line of sight just to see where your opponent is always nice and always handy to have. We do see a second Grenadier squad outfit. Originally, and then now he's going into his MG opening. So a strong sort of force coming in now. He's keeping his units together nicely. He doesn't want to sort of send them off individually and start capping, because he's if he runs into trouble, then he's lost major capping force as well as the power. If he keeps his Grenadiers together, he's likely to defeat most anything that he encounters. And Paradox now going aggressively on the bottom. He's actually pushed right up and taken this forward point that he originally secured. But meanwhile, LINKINPARK is just going to run straight down here and secure this cutoff, which is nice. It's going to deny any of the capped areas that Paradox is able to go and secure down there, and he's doing it in force as well. He's not doing it half-assed. He's got all of his units, well, a strong force here, should we say, enough to repel anything that's going to come out of the base or anything that's lying around. We do see the VP is starting to be capped from behind mines. We know that there's going to flank possible. These conscripts come charging in to get that green cover advantage. Unfortunately, it's directional, so these guys are able to easily enough open up. Millie's just going to sit there and cap, and he could have used the flank to come around and really sort of help with this little push, and instead he's been shot in the face with this MG. Forced to retreat off there. Now the engineers are coming in now to try and sway this battle in favour of the Red Army, but unfortunately there's no losses as of yet. This guy is dropping health, so we might see a unit go down, but no, this conscript's going to have to get out of there. They're way too low health. They do start getting picked off and retreat as well, which is nice. There you go, another one goes down as well. This is inflicting as much damage as he can while he can. And these guys are now, they're still in yellow cover, but very, only slightly. There's not really much around there that's protecting them. Now they're in the green cover. They're right up in the face of these Grenadiers, and the rapid fire of the engineers might start dropping when one goes down there. Looks like it's a very expensive loss, and the MG is now up in place as well to start supporting him. Whew, okay. So it looks like this cutoff point is probably going to go in the hands of LINKINPARK for now, but meanwhile we do see aggressive capping out of another conscript squad for Paradox right down in front of the base of LINKINPARK. He's going to hop in that building and be annoying as he can. So now you see, I'm going to take the fog of war off real quick just so you can sort of see the map. There's a huge, it looks really, really red. But unfortunately, none of this is actually benefiting Paradox at this moment in time, because this cutoff was secured early, so they only had the 2 points, but then conversely, Linkin Park only had a couple of points up here as well, so it's kind of even really if you think about it in map control. Maybe slightly in advantage now of Linkin Park, and we'll see what Paradox can do to try and secure back this capping point. So I'm going to reverse back over onto Paradox to see what he's getting up to. This conscript is safe from pinning, and he's able to start to get a nice little kill by there. He is heavily outgunned though, and they might start seeing some rifle nades coming on, so he has to spend a lot of time focusing on these units, watching them to see if the rifle nade is going to pop out. And meanwhile up here now, these conscripts are able to just sit in the fire of this Pioneer squad. If he moved, there you go, he's moving across the directional cover now, so he's got green cover, so he's not really going to take any damage at all from there. These conscripts are getting low health now, so now their unit's going to start popping off, and he's eventually able to retake this this cutoff point, giving him access to all of this beautiful income that he wouldn't have had otherwise. But this is recognized now by Linkin Park, who's going to move forward and possibly get his MG in an annoying position to prevent this cutoff from actually taking place. These Pioneers jump out and support this MG that flank is going on in the middle bit. This is the second munitions point on the map. Of course, in the winter version, there's only one munitions point, which is located where this VP is. A nice clown car coming out now to try and counter the MG. He is guarded and protected by these grenadiers, so he can't charge straight in without eating the Faust. He recognizes that and backs out smartly. And looks like this point is not going to be able to go back into the hands of Paradox just yet. But he's actually getting some nice kills off there. He's paving his way. I mean, every 3 conscripts that you lose, as long as he's killing 2 grenadiers, he's breaking even in terms of the manpower attrition. They want to keep both the units in here to stop the cap going either way. So obviously as soon as he leaves, then Paradox will be able to cap it, but unfortunately there's too much firepower for him here. He's going to have to back out of that. Meanwhile, the clown car is going up in a nice little aggressive push now. He's going for the top cutoff. It's not a big cutoff, but it does deny this fuel, especially if you haven't got this munitions point. Again, he sees the Grenadier squad coming in. He doesn't want to fight it. He doesn't want to take the Faust, because he's now about mid-health now. That Faust will hurt him. But he's got these engineers coming up behind him. Maybe start trying to just repair it. Oh, he's going to back away again. He's probably going to use that Flamer engineer to repair it. And try and decap at least this fuel without taking any losses. MG now setting up. He's probably going to suppress these guys before they can get in the building. No, these guys... Ooh, yeah, they'll eventually crawl in the building, because one of the models is close enough. Oh, no, those models go down now. There you go, he sort of just magically appear in the building, so he's going to be happy enough for that. He is pinned in there, so he's not going to be able to fire back just yet, but as soon as he does, he's going to start taking some hits on this MG, though it's going to be a close one to call. We can see now that if you can see from Paradox's vision, this territory is yellow on the mellow map. On the mellow map? The mellow map, yeah, that's what it is, man. He's just had too many doobies today. So on the minimap it's yellow, so he knows there's an Opel truck in there, which means that he's getting extra resources from this point, and there's also a high value, very easy to kill vehicle in there somewhere, should he choose to capitalize on that and go hunting for it with the vehicle later on. Okay, so again, the scout car is very wisely staying out of the range of the Grenadiers' Faust. This eventually now goes back into the hands of Paradox, and so now he's at a huge advantage right now with a large portion of the map in his control. How long he can keep this for, I'm not too sure, because this MG will eventually pin both of these squads. Okay, I missed that as the Faust went down up top, but luckily enough he'd repaired it up, so he didn't take too much damage, and the engineer's going to jump out and repair him up now as well. So this cutoff isn't going to be in the hands of Paradox very long, like as you can see, because it is going to be cut off. But that said, Linkin Park has only got 3 points, excuse me, in his possession right now, so he's not having a good time in terms of income. These guys are going to pick away at each other. I mean, as long as you don't upgrade this half track, he can start doing damage to the scout car. As soon as you get the flamers, suddenly it becomes utterly useless, because he seems to stop firing his MG at it, and it does kind of break even. You know, it's very close between the two when they're upgraded and just firing at each other's faces. So it's an interesting point for, you know, especially seeing as the scout car is so cheap to get. But there we are. Linkin Park now. I'm going to swap briefly with Linkin Park, see if he's made a choice. Yes, he has, obviously, because he had the Opel truck out to get some additional resources, which he badly needed as he did not have the map. But he's got a nice little fan going on here. He still controls this cutoff point, and he's starting to cap up down here as well now, which is wise because there was no forces here. The MG is able to rotate off a rogue conscript squad, low health conscript squad there. I think it might have been the one from this building. And he's going to start to cap up on the top as well now. So he's turning the pendulum a bit into his favor. He's going to start denying resources over on the front of Paradox, but has Paradox been able to bank enough and go up? So he's a nice sniper now out in the field. It's quite a lot to pick at, and the best thing is when you get a half track, obviously they're able to reinforce, but that just means more targets for your sniper to keep picking away. Okay, so a strong position now for... even though there is a sniper out in the field, he's going to start picking away. There is still quite a strong position for LINKINPARK. He's going to try and get this guy out. They're going to chase him away and hopefully try and refresh their 18 nade and really do a ton of damage on it. If he can get that second 18 nade off on it, then he will probably take it down. We do see this scout car is still being a nuisance, so I suppose this scout car is going to try and come up, and no, he's going to use it to cap. So that second 18 went off, and unluckily it didn't do enough damage as he'd hoped. So he's going to continue chasing it, but very soon now these base MG is going to pin him, so he's going to stay there and just take the point instead. We see that the sniper is trying to do a bit of tick shoot. That wasn't actually even a sniper, it was his partner. But he does a nice bit of damage there. His conscript's going to start teeing off him as well, but he's got a bit too much health. I think he's going to get home okay. But like I say, this top territory now belongs in... Well, the map is kind of split in 50-50. The VPs are in the favor of Paradox right now. It's quite a close game so far. You know, there's been no major upsets that I've seen or noticed. Sniper does bump into these grenadiers and just gets the hell out of there. He does not want to see the face of the LMG, excuse me. So he's going to try and dislodge this conscript squad now. There goes the rifle nades. Yep, nicely recognizes it. Jumps out of the building. He still takes 3 losses. What's that from? He's got the MG posted right upside the base. Watching these grenadiers are chased away by this still uncounted scout car. I mean, one of the easiest ways to counter a scout car is with an upgraded scout car of your own. But when you upgrade it, that's all they're really good at. They're only really good at killing scout cars. And possibly taking on the half tracks as well. This scout car is doing a lot of damage against this MG that's trying to get out, and it goes down on one guy. He might lose it here, especially as the conscripts are hungry. They're looking for this. Yeah, this does go down. This conscript's going to be happy enough with that and steal that MG. So that's a pretty big loss there for LINKINPARK. Anyway, as I was saying, the upgraded scout cars aren't great at Veterancy 0. However, when you get them up to Veterancy 2, Veterancy 3, they can easily go head-to-head with a T-70, an unvetted T-70. So that then becomes a super cheap way of countering the T-70 if it does come. This guy is going to have to do a runner. He just seen what happened to his MG buddy. The MG buddy is now going to shoot at him as well. He goes down! Ooh, LINKINPARK's not going to be happy with this, as the sort of Soviet army is just swarming all over the map now, contesting from every point. We see Hit the Dirt has been chosen now for Paradox. So these guys, without the PPSH, can't do enough damage against the Panzer Grenadiers to really stick it in there with them, but they are getting veterancy for every guy that goes down every time he gets attacked. They are getting veterancy. This conscript squad now is dangerously low. He could lose it. It's got veterancy 1. It's not a big deal if he does lose it, but it still hurt his manpower, but he's going to leg it out of there. Happy as Larry getting out of there. He didn't want to stick it out in front of 8 Nazi Germans. Panzer Grenadiers are going to do a bit of a job now trying to cap up, but it is a triple cap, and the VPs are starting to look now like they are going to be in the favor of Paradox for some time. These conscripts taking some LMG fire in the face as they run away, and these Grenadiers, if he microed them and tried to shoot at that guy, then he would have been easily intercepted by the scout cars, who rightly moved them away. He really wanted to try and get that point before the scout car came in, but unfortunately couldn't, so we had to get out of there. But the scout car is still chasing. Hopefully we can see some nice a nice Panzerfaust to really shut him down. I mean, Veterancy 2 on the thing is great. It gives him the free overdrive ability, so he can just zoom out of anywhere. Now these Grenadiers are in extreme danger. They eat a shot from the sniper. He's going to be chased down by the scout car, and he goes down. There's another squad now. There's 3 squads in about 2 minutes. That's really bad news now for LINKINPARK. So I'll switch on over to Paradox to see how he's enjoying his victory. As you can see, he hasn't actually got a great amount of units on the field right now. He's had some big engagements and won quite a few of those engagements handily. So now we're going to see him come out and see if he can hold all of these points that he's managed to cap up and steal away from LINKINPARK. Scout car still at play. He's going to come and try and chase away this half track or cap the point. Either one is still going to be productive for him. as soon as I mentioned about the VPs, obviously now it's a 2-1 VP advantage for Linkin Park, but it's not going to hold for that long. This MG is going to suppress these troops unless he hits the dirt. Unfortunately, doesn't see the MG in the building, doesn't hit the dirt. He's too busy trying to get up here. I think he had a bit of a tunnel vision on that half track. He really badly wanted it. So now these guys are just going to have to get out unless this... Yeah. Nice play by the scout car. Again, he's afraid of the Grenadiers. He doesn't want to be Panzerfausted. No, he doesn't even need one. And this scout car is just racking up kills. He's on 9 kills from the scout car alone and 13 from the engineers. That is happy days. He is not going to be firing those guys tomorrow. He's going to be giving them a pay rise if they survive, and you know, fresh cookie or something like that. Whatever Russians eat. Vodka jellies. It's probably xenophobic and stereotypical of me, but there we are. This flame guy is doing well. There we go. It's a good game then. Thrown in the towel from Linkin Park, who is unable to overcome the early advantage that he kind of had from taking this cutoff. I mean, what I've liked to have seen is as soon as he held this cutoff, if he back-capped all of this bottom half and said, right, you know, I'll take the bottom, you can take the top half, and then we'll meet over the middle. We'll sort of see what we can take tit for tat for each other. But unfortunately, the overwhelming numbers that Paradox was able to pump out, as well as this amazingly microed scout car, who just did so much damage to everything. I mean, it lasted the whole game. You really see that this is really, you know, a showcase then of high-level play for you guys. You know, if there's some of you sort of beginner intermediates thinking, you know, how do I really sort of keep the scout car alive? That's how he did it. Every time we've seen a Grenadier squad, he managed to back up away and avoid the Panzerfire spot from one time and one time only, which was there. But he had 2 engineers ready right there to repair it. So a nice opening strat. Look, the 3 conscripts, the 2 engineers, and a scout car, and that's all he needed. That's all he needed to win. You can see in his base he did have tier 4 built up and plenty of resources in case you wanted to get an SU-85. I mean, you would have guessed there was no vehicles coming because Linkin Park didn't have any much of the fuel territory for any of the game really. So he'd have probably gone for the Katyushas just to harass the base and retreating troops, or the SU-76 for that amazing barrage for the anti-infantry at Brang. So he threw in the towel there. I mean, to be honest, it's a tournament game. I would have expected to sort of see Linkin Park try and stick it out a little bit longer, see if he could pull something out of the hat. If everyone could range quickly over into him. He did lose those couple of squads, obviously, which is very annoying for him. But you can see his resources just weren't there. It just wasn't happening for him right then and there, unfortunately. But there we go. I mean, that's only game 1 of of 3 potential games. We'll see who wins the next one. Obviously, we're swapping factions, so we'll see if that has any effect and if Linkin Park is more of a Soviet player. Let's find out and join me in the next cast. Thanks very much, guys.